Boomtown Storyline can be confusing and difficult for newcomers to make sense of. Whether you're trying it out for the first time or aiming to complete it at this year's fair, I aim to help you with your quest. Alternatively, if you just want to get involved with a few fun immersive shenanigans, this guide might save you some time. So, the format to the questing if you're going after the main storyline is to collect an item in each district. In Chapter 1 we had the seed pods signifying the pillars of Boomtown, and in Chapter 2 we had the evidence following Ellen. For more info on that, check out my recap video. The idea is that you can collect items in any order, so you don't have to beat the districts one at a time. You're free to tackle them as you please. A fun focus of the city of Boomtown has always been the custom printed money. If you just want to get rich with fake cash, then you could easily spend the whole weekend just trying to collect as many Boomtown bucks as possible. There are a bunch of different currencies now, but it seems as though the most sought after of Chapter 2 were the gold standards supplied by Rich Goldman and his team. People were trading wild amounts of paper money for these coins. Aside from making it rain, the money's useful for bribing various actors around Boomtown, something that's been essential in previous questlines. On the topic of bribing, a huge part of moving quickly through the storyline quests is by blagging. There are a few things you can do when interacting with the immersive theatre actors, which will help you progress further. Be confident. You can be assertive with what you're saying in order to get away with a little extra, squeeze them for more cash, or insist on your quest being complete. It helps if you play a role with this. If Copperwood are looking for film investors, pretend to be Mr. Moneybags with the stacks of cash to invest. If the 404 gangs are looking for new recruits, claim you have excellent laser gun skills. To take this to the next level, you can also look the part, dressing up and playing the game as your own character. The Boomtown Costume Guild on Facebook are a community of costume makers who share tips and tricks of how you can make your own for the festival. I'll add a link in the description. Many people bring trinkets along to trade and exchange. These are a great bit of fun and extra special for those engaging with the storyline elements. Generally, not many people know what's going on, actors and punters included.
What the hell's going on?
By design, antics around the town are organic. An ad for a protest in Old Town might have thousands of people turn up, and be a big deal. Previously, people have broken into the bank, and then it ended up on the Daily Rag with a grand reopening the next day. Almost anything goes. Blag it, have fun with it, cause some chaos, but don't be a dick. There will be queues, long queues, as more and more people are interested in the storyline. If there's a long wait for something, it's a good idea to chat to the people coming out of the attraction to hear if it's worth it. Chances are there will be something else in a different district that you can do instead. Avoid the busy areas. Some of these things that you queue for are essential to the storyline, some are fun experiences that don't link to anything else. If you're just after something silly to enjoy the day, then ask the actors at the door if it's storyline related or not. There's probably not a lot of point in waiting at a quest bottleneck for an experience that you might not get the value out of. Questers will generally do all of the things. There are clues in every corner. If you're new to the storyline, it's worth noting that on the Friday the actors will be reluctant to allow you to progress too far too quickly. Not to say that you'll be blocked off from completing a district, but they won't make it easy. By the Sunday, quests will be much easier to complete, as they want you to finish off the story by the end of the day. If you're a bit stuck on one area, on the Friday or the Saturday, come back on the Sunday. Things might be a bit easier. On the topic of getting stuck or not really getting anywhere, actors will try to send you off on wild goose chases. There are entire factions in Boomtown whose job it is to waste your time for as long as possible. Part of finishing the story is knowing when a clue is a red herring. A general rule of thumb when completing main quests is that they are contained within their own districts. If you get sent from one district to another to collect a thing, like if the bandits in 404 send you to collect some pirate gold from Old Town, you know it's a fake quest. Come back later and blag it. Just watch as they change that for this year now. Hi Megan. There's a metaphorical side to the storyline, the ethos of Boomtown. Ceremonies and shows will focus on the pillars of Boomtown and not make a whole lot of sense when they're compared to the rest of the story. The end of the main questline usually results in a message about ourselves, our environment, and nice ways we can make the world a better place. It's important in a greater sense, but if you're trying to figure out the story and the shows on Origin don't make much sense to you, that's okay. When the story ends, there just isn't any more. You've reached the end. It's fair game that they plonk you into something where instead of running around trying to complete more stuff, you just get time to reflect. It seems like there's a lot of buzz around Let's Be Avenue for this year. Frontman and most likely the first character you encounter being Rich Goldman and his gold standards. There's been a history of antics around him and some interesting stuff going on regarding elections. If he's still doing one-on-one meetings, I highly recommend having a bit of back and forth about wealth and whatever else you please, and he might point you in the right direction for story-related things. Blop and Patrick Kahn are possibly coming in as the antagonists of Let's Be Avenue. After becoming mayor, Patrick was found to be rigging the election, so there might be a possibility of some sort of evil questline going on there. The posties, and in particular Dela, have an interesting thing going on regarding a missing photocopier. Go and see if you can help them out. Also send a letter while you're there. The Lost in the Maze podcast is back, and they've got a great section on what's going on with this part of the storyline. Definitely check it out. The Betterverse crew have a tech giant thing going on and focus on AI. They do talks in Metropolis, probably more of one to observe than to get involved in. The Mother in Botanica is probably going to be a main focus for Chapter 3. There's been a lot of hype around this area regarding new big storyline stuff. Iona. Check out my recap vid for info there. They were doing ceremonies last year that were great, definitely one to check out. The Pirates? I used to have a hard time with the Pirates, same as everybody else. They would mess you around loads, vary in character, but there's a new crew of salty dogs in town with a bucket of fresh ideas, so it's worth checking out what they've got in store. I'd advise bringing them rum and treasures. Copper County has had an overhaul into Copperwood. There's a new crew of actors in there, and they seem to have a focus on filmmaking. I'd expect they've gone all in on making a fun new district for this chapter. Don't quote me on what's story related and what's not, these things change constantly, but here are some non-storyline focused things to do. The Luck Exchange on Let's Be Avenue are a good bit of fun, exchanging items, be lucky. The Department of Transients and their Train of Lost Thought are great for outdoor interactions around Copperwood. They can hype up a crowd and get shenanigans going. For Chapter 2, the building in the middle of Metropolis had a labyrinth of different challenges. It was my personal favourite of the weekend. Old Town has a few tidbits around, get electrocuted in the chairs, good for a quick laugh as you're passing through. The workshop in 404 had good reviews, long queues but I heard it was a nice experience there. Touch grass at the Botanica ceremonies, in general there's some funky stuff here. Go join a mini party under the umbrellas. I think that's really the tone of it if you're looking for things to do that aren't storyline. If you see something you like the look of, get involved. It's a festival of participation, so don't just observe, be part of it. I'm the King of Hearts, thanks for watching, and share your own tips below. Let me know what you'd like to see on the next one, or come find me at the festival and I'll help guide you in the right direction. Alright, cool, bye.